This is Rojak Borak episode 3, and we have a special guest today. His name is Mike Yap. He comes from DNA Tuning. Mike Yap, give the audience a wave. Cool. Okay, we also have Michael, so we're gonna call other Mike Michael, and then we got Katie,
Nice to
we
meet
got
you.
Donald, and we got somebody hiding in the background named Isaac in Mike Yap's thing. Yeah, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, my
So
bad, I know.
yeah. So today's discussion is going to be one of those interesting ones where we're going to deep dive a little bit into tuning culture and getting power and what does the number mean and is it really everything you want to do? Because if you're going to mod, you should do it right. And this is what we call part one, tuning. That's why we have Mike here. So, Mike, I want to start us off by saying thank you so much for taking time out of your day. It's late at night. It's just after work. Everybody's got very complicated lives because of COVID. But thank you so much for coming down and joining us for this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and thank you for having me here. And I feel honored that you guys, call an old man like me to
Oh,
come.
old and wise is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to tuning cars, right, guys?
All but gold.
Yes.
All
So,
is gold, bro.
so
Yeah, yeah.
I want to start for a guy like me who's been sort of throwing money at a car at an engine to make more power for the better part of 16 years and all that since I came back to KL. It's
Yep.
like it's really been hit or miss, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm gonna add a Blitz Nurspec 3-inch exhaust to my Satra GTI and not gain any horsepower, but just sounds loud. And it's like all this placebo effect and all that kind of stuff. And I think what we really want to dig into is what is sort of the right way of doing it? What are the things that we need to identify? And I want to start by saying maybe I'll go around the room a little bit. Modifications, what does it mean to the individual? Does anyone have an answer for this one? Because I can tell you that I want to be faster than the other guy at the stoplight to stoplight drag. You know what I mean? Like that used to be me. You know what I mean? What's it like for you guys? Like, what does it really mean and all that kind of stuff? Before we get into why should you modify your car?
I think for me it's uh it really depends on how I drive or how I like the car to drive, and tuning it in terms of characteristic of the way the car behaves when it goes into corner. And it was yes, at some point it was the power, the g-force, the kick that you want.
Mhm.
But ultimately for me it's how it drives, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
For me, it's to, in a way, like making up the car and also changing the car up to my criteria and taste and how I want it.
Right.
Like, because I like to go for weekend drives with these guys and you. So, and hopefully one day I get to drive with Mike too. So,
Yep.
I'd like to be able to utilize more across the RPM, instead of just within 1,000. Maybe I like to utilize more power band, and
Yep.
also in terms of a little bit of aesthetic to, for me to feel that it looks good.
Okay. So I'll go to Don first before I hit you, Mike. Don's a special case, right? Because Don's if you know Rojak petrol heads and you're part of the group, you know the WhatsApp and everything, you would know that Don is strictly local, strictly old school, takes a turn and makes it go fast. That's the kind of guy Donald Tang is, all right? So Don, this is a deeply personal thing for you, I'm sure. So, what is it about sort of modifications, or what are you trying to achieve with your cars?
Okay, for me personally, I feel that modification is all about balance. All right. So when I first drive a car, uh, you tend to test out the car's limit. You tend to try to have some fun. You tend to take it around corners fast. You try the top speed and everything. So to me, modification is all about balance. Because when you push the car hard, you tend to reveal the car's weak points. maybe the car is suffering in terms of acceleration. Maybe the car has a weak power band at the top. Maybe the car has a top tip. Or maybe when you chuck it in the corner, you feel that the braking power is not enough
Mm-hmm.
or it rolls a lot. So it's all about balance. When you first drive the car, you feel what are the shortcomings of the car. And after that, you focus on how maybe you can provide modification as a solution to those problems to make the car drive better and more balanced. So, for
Okay.
example, let's say I drive a car and when I take the corner, it understeers. So, I'll go and find out solutions. How can I make the car corner better? Maybe I can put in a stiffer anti-roll bar. Maybe I can lower the car to lower the center of gravity. Maybe I can use better tires. So it's more like a step by step way of making the car more balanced overall. And once you achieve maybe the handling, maybe you want more power because you can take corners faster, so you can enter faster. But if your car doesn't have enough power, you're basically wasting it. So you will find people like Mike to tell him, hey, I want more power in my car. Can up my stage two, stage one, Can I have more power? Because now my car can handle better. I'm more confident to push it. And I'm not feeling satisfied and I want more. So it's all about balance, taking step by step along the way.
Cool. I love that answer because it
Yeah.
segues right into this whole thing, which was, well, one of the things where we were talking about before we started this podcast was one was balance, right? So, but the other thing was that what is your starting platform? So, more often than not, Mike, what do people come to you with problems with? I mean, do they come to you with a potato and say turn it into a French fry, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you're in your lifetime of experience, your wealth of experience, like for you, the A to Z, the layout plan is gotta be like a fine science right now for you, right?
In a way, yes, because I guess what Donald is doing. Yeah, that's perfectly right. And I come from that school of thought as well, actually.
Well done, well done.
So yeah. So it's just brilliant, and when the car comes out from the factory, right? And especially Malaysian cars, as what Donald loves, the saga behind there, yeah. It was made as you know, uh, how would I call it? A to B transport for Malaysians. Yeah, you know. So what Donald wants to do with the saga is slightly different. There is he wants to make the car faster, push the car harder. He knows the car can take certain limits, and he learns up the limits of the car, and then he start improving it step by step. Yeah, that is the gradual progression that all of us does.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go along this path, which I have in the past as well, yeah, you listen to people, you got to put in this exhaust system, and then you go in, at that time during our time, yeah, you think so easy to go and buy iBuck springs, go out there, want to buy H&R springs. It was widely available, like what
Yeah.
you guys have now. Don't have, go and press internet lah. Buy the parts. It was, during those times, you got to go and call your friend from the UK or something. Hey, can you get this part for me? Or you fax to your friends.
Fax. Oh, I love it. I haven't used the fax machine in ages.
We don't have all these facilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can remember when I had even, but that was when we started to have emails. When I started to play cars back again. I think I really started to get back into cars was in 1999.
Oh, okay.
Because in the intervening years when I came back overseas, what happened was I was running company cars and all that, and then got fed up of the Camrys lah, driving about. And so I said I always wanted a Golf. Yeah, so I was looking for a Golf GTI. Yeah, back then.
MK4.
I found a Mark II GTI.
Oh.
Yeah. So one owner Mark II GTI, and started to play around with it. Yeah. So, but at that time we already have emails. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I think that time it was Hotmails. back then.
Hotmail.
Yeah,
Yeah, I already lost my Hotmail account. I don't know how many times
Hotmail.
already.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
after Yahoo
Yeah.
Mail.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I think KT brought up one thing kind of interesting, sort of, because when he wrote his article about the A45, which you can all read on Rojak Petrolheads if you haven't already.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
here's the link. Here's the link.
yeah,
Link,
no,
yes.
man, why you gotta give me more
Somewhere,
work, man? I
somewhere.
gotta edit that thing in now.
okay, get that in there.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, the question I wanted to ask was like, I guess there are some imperfections even in sort of the most perfect sort of developed car, right? And like sometimes, like what we talked about, it's sort of not just having the power, but then sort of the delivery of it, right? And
Yes, yes,
it's something that you could kind of hang your hat on right now as your
Yep.
key point of business. So, I mean, do you find a lot of like stock tunes, sort of, even an A45 or like a Golf GTI or even like a Scooby? Are they,
Yep.
I mean, what are they like? Do you feel like there's a lot of improvement to be made?
Yes, especially on the turbocharged cars, lah, and even on some of the normally aspirated cars as well.
Okay, okay.
There are gains to be had, lah.
Just on the standard hardware, lah, or is it just
Yeah,
sort of
on the standard hardware, even on the standard hardware,
okay?
but if you want to enjoy more, then there's slight hardware changes that you make that can make a huge difference to the performance, lah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I think one thing, like people like to chase the number, right? Like when, like as you said, I think while we were sitting down and having a discussion about even doing this podcast was like people sitting down at a Teta session and it's like 253, same hardware, different tune. You know what I mean? You got like Michael's got like 349. It's four,
Yes.
but it's four more than you. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of confusion. Maybe could you explain to us a little bit about like what matters most in when it comes to tuning? Is it how much do I gain at the peak or how I get there?
For us at DNA tuning, we work a bit differently. Like for us, is about getting the performance throughout your rev band
Mm-hmm.
rather than it's just some area. And generally, our customers they drive their cars 90% on the road,
Yeah.
90 to 95% on the road. So it's not mainly on those track focused cars. Even our road cars, that we have tuned and we have even tested them out on the track. They do very well. Yeah, they do very well in the track, and also actually can run laps. Rather
Consistently
than
lah.
rather than you can only go out for 1-2 laps and that's it.
I can tell you, I think my class one is like that lah. With like 2-3 less, oh slow down, bro.
Yeah, but I mean for Sepang, especially daytime, yeah, most road cars you can only do 2 laps,
Yeah.
3 laps, and then take it easy, lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the cars were not built for the track, anyways. Yeah.
So I wanted to bring in just to cut it a little bit into here and all that kind of stuff. KT, if you're gonna take your car to Mike, what kind, like, okay, everyone says I want big horsepower, right? But what
Yep.
could he do for your M3 that will make it much more pleasurable? Like, in what area do you feel like, in your ownership experience, tuning can help?
Okay, from the day that I picked up the car until now, it was just me trying to clean it all up, the wear and tears and everything. But during the time, I made a decision and went on buy an eventually intake.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But the point of the intake is, okay, first thing is the sales, the Black Friday sales and stuff like that. You don't get that often, and then you get
Itchy hands.
yeah, itchy hands. But the second thing is that because that when I drive the car, I realized that the car needed more breathing space. So my thought of thinking how the whole engine works and how does it makes it smoother is basically like human breathing. So if you want, if you are like an athlete, you need a bigger nose
Okay.
to breathe in more air for your lungs and then to expel it. So the whole school of thought was to smoothen out my intake system through the exhaust because as far as I know, NA to gain power is almost like it's not cost effective. I would say. So
Also,
but then after that I realized there's still some a bit pullbacks in a way that I don't think that my numbers are hitting the right numbers.
mhm.
Like basically just now you guys were saying about how the power is being put down. So the first thing I'll bring it to Mike was definitely say like definitely my car is making less horsepower than usual, but what is going on? Trying to get that right amount of power, but it's still the illusions of the numbers. You like
When you're
so
comparing
what
yourself to other people, right?
Yes, yes. Like people are saying, hey, my stop entry do 340 to 350 or less already. If you are doing 320, you're a bit on the low side. And I was like, say lo, like man, what's going on? So more on rectifying the issue rather than modifying it because to me the car drives perfectly. And also I have a KW suspension setup.
Mhm.
That one comes to be quite cheap as well. And then after that, because like I was thinking like, you know what, I don't want my original suspension to go dead and then after that try to find a seller to sell it off and
Yeah.
then get myself a KW suspension, and upgrade, and why not, but then right now the original whole suspension setup is still in my garage.
Okay. It's not doing anything, lah.
It's not doing
So,
anything.
so I think one of the things I suppose like where can DNA tuning help KT's M3? Do you think that maybe the eventually intake might have, because it's unoptimized tune, right? It is just sort of a
Yep.
plug and play thing. Do you feel like maybe there's some power loss there because of something
Uh,
that it's
there is a possibility. There's a possibility. Why? Because you might have bigger nostrils, as we
mm-hmm.
put it. Yeah. All right.
Yep,
Yeah.
But how are you going to take advantage of the bigger nostrils?
right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, what's a bad example here? A bad example is like
Yeah.
giving the lung capacity of Usain Bolt to a midget.
Yes.
No?
And I think sometimes everybody wants a bigger diameter pipe going
Ye-
into the intake.
Yeah.
Bigger is always better. Yeah. That is always in our mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
More horsepower is always better, as well, right? More
Yep.
torque is always better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I right?
But yeah, but for the intake, it's about the design, yeah, flow, okay, and the speed of the air that is going into your intake.
So the velocity of the air?
Yeah, the velocity
Okay.
of the air. Yeah, that is far more important than the diameter.
The big.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like like your Saga, right?
Yeah.
You go and put 17-inch, see how the car drives.
Yep.
The car looks good. Yeah,
Yep.
brilliant the car.
Yep.
But if you just go and throw in a 17-inch wheels onto the car,
Yeah.
the car actually drives worse than when the car is running 15-inch.
Take more rotational weight as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think we covered kind of the power in terms of like what are people looking for, or not what are people looking for, but then what are the things they should be looking for, right? It's about balance, it's about power delivery, about
Yes.
response. What
Yeah,
about
proper
things like,
response.
yeah, like when you punch the throttle, it should just sort of pick up and go kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
is that a lot of fun? Okay, so I got a personal question on that. Like, is that a function more of a lot of people have asked this last time in the group chat? It's like, oh, what would you prefer, more torque or more horsepower? And it's like, no, actually, horsepower is a function of torque. It is a mathematical calculation, right? But a lot of people feel like, oh, like is response mean extra torque, or is that sort of incorrect thinking?
Yeah, actually, you want the car to accelerate fast. Yeah, you want to have a lot of torque. Yeah,
Okay.
that's when it actually the rotational speed, how fast it can actually rotate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the more torque you have, your car can rotate faster at the wheels.
Yeah.
That's where your power
Comes
kicks
from
in.
that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's a balance of between your torque curve and your power curve as well. Yeah. Mm. When the engine starts spinning, then you would want the horsepower at the top end to take over as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
So
Yes.
KT's car is like BMW VTEC lah.
Yeah, this
One-off system.
yes, and the car got the one-off system, and also it's a high revving engine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So with most NA cars, you must know where the power band of the car is. Yeah, by using your pedal shifters or shifter, always at the right power band. Yeah. Then the car will be very quick. Yeah.
Very zippy.
But if you are off that power band, you want to accelerate, then a turbo car will always take you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a turbo car will always take you. So with the M3, what we find is that with the standard tuning, yeah, the low end is a bit compromised, especially when you are below 3,000 revs,
Yes,
3,500 revs. Yeah. And when you are driving it in traffic, the car feels very lethargic, and it
yes,
feels like it is bogged down all the time.
yes, it is. It
And
is.
then your transmission and your engine, like
It's like don't know what they are doing between each
yeah,
other. One say A, another do B. Then but when you're on the throttle itself on a highway or really pushing it, then you will actually see the smoothness transition between the
yes,
transmission and the engine together that works perfectly well.
It's just trying to tell you that don't go slow, lah, bro. That's all your car's trying to tell you, lah.
sorry, didn't hear you there.
No, I said his car's trying to tell him not to go slow.
Oh yes, yes.
Car throwing tantrum lah, not being treated correctly, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why are you not putting your foot down, boy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So with our tune, basically on the low end, right? After we do a stage two, we always recommend a stage two. With the stage two, you can either have a sports cat or the decathlon system as well, and basically the low end response will improve dramatically. And the throttle is also quite a bit sharper, and you will also realize that your transmission and your engine, they actually communicate a lot better and a lot faster, and
Oh.
in a much smoother way as well.
Hashtag kena racun.
Relating to this, I have a question for Mike here, so John, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we know that NA cars, the power curve is always increasing over the RPM.
Yep.
And for a lot of turbocharged cars, I noticed that their power curve peaks around 5 to 6,000, sometimes 6.5,
Yep.
depending on how high your RPM can rev, and then it will drop towards the rev limit.
Yep.
Why is that? Yeah.
Oh, that one is depends on your turbocharger, your turbocharger sizing and efficiency.
Yeah, because my previous car was a Civic, the 10 gen, the
Yep.
turbocharged one. Yeah.
Yep.
So because I modeled it before.
Yeah.
So on a stock tune, the dyno, the peak power will be somewhere around 5,500. I mean peak power, yeah. Then it will drop.
Yes.
But after I went to a tuner, he helped me to optimize the power where from 5,005 till 6,003, which is the rev limit,
Yep.
it will maintain a consistent power where it won't drop. Is that
Mm.
good or bad for the engine? Or because I notice a lot of people don't, a lot of tuners do not do that for turbocharged cars unless personally request.
Oh, I can't answer you just by you telling me that they managed to put the power through to 6,300 RPM.
Mhm.
Whether the question is whether they can consistently do it on the third and fifth run on the
Yeah,
dyno.
can.
Can ah?
Can he full send the throttle? He full throttle the car for four runs, I think. Yeah, consistently it was building all the way to ref limit.
Okay. Then it shouldn't be too bad lah, in that sense. And have you encountered any issues?
Nope.
No, then it should be good lah. Should be
Hmm.
good to go then. Yeah.
So actually, turbocharged cars can be optimized to do that lah, depending on the
But
car.
again,
Definitely.
depending on your turbocharger
Mhm.
efficiency lah.
Yeah, I think like from my own experience, my Scooby was version 7, and on the stock VF30 turbo, there's no more power after 6,000 RPM.
Mm.
But I upgraded to a turbo that was too big, and there was like literally no power until 4,500, then heavy spool and lots of power until 8,000 RPM. So you know what I mean? Like turbochargers change a lot of things, just like how cams change the power band of your naturally aspirated engine, even your turbocharged engine as well. So I guess he must have found some sort of trick.
I think it's normal for large single turbos to do that actually.
Like my car, it stops making power after 6,000. I could take it all the way to 7,000. It's just no point.
Yep. Yeah, because the efficiency is at
Mm-hmm.
6.5, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mm. But
Cool.
then with the Civic, I'm not so familiar with it, so I better don't comment.
No, it's okay. I'm just asking because I'm curious why turbocharged cars are always dropping way before the ref limit. That's fine.
But I think it's also like actually
What-
no, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know
What
why.
about
Maybe it's a
the-
safety lah.
Yeah, what about the torque delivery on the Civic
The torque delivery will peak at 4.5.
at 4.5?
Yeah, peaks at 4.5. Then it will dip. Yeah, it will slowly drop.
Okay, that's quite good then. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to touch on a very sensitive topic, and it's something that doesn't get brought up a lot in car circles, right? But I feel like bragging rights at your golf MQB Theta Rex session, at your R35 GTR owners club, or your I don't know what rich people do, Aventador club or whatever.
M club.
Yeah, maybe M Club too, right? Yeah. So it's like these people go there, and it's like if you show up in a stock golf GTI Club Sport, just because I feel like that's gonna happen. Someone's gonna say that anyway, so I might as well say it. But if we show up there and people be like, "Why haven't you done stage 1? Why haven't you done stage 2?" It's like I feel so much pressure to like modify my car when there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know if I need to. But because I kena racun by all these people, they're all like, "Oh, you need to do stage 1 minimum, otherwise you're just not using your car properly." And do you get a lot of customers like that? And are they hard to deal with because they're just sort of like blindly following what other people are telling them to do too?
After so many years in this business, we do meet them.
Are there a large majority of your client base?
Most of my client base, we are not so much on the chasing horsepower.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But most of them, they want to have a smoother drive, where the throttle response is a lot better, and also at the same time, good power delivery to the red line.
Okay, okay.
Like what Mike
Reliability.
and also of course the reliability, and we are no pushover when we are out on the road.
Yeah.
No pushover when we are out on the road, because I think when people are chasing horsepower, we forget that that horsepower reading was done on the dyno, and usually it's on fourth gear,
Mm-hmm.
2000 RPM, to your red line
Yeah.
in fourth gear. Okay. How many of you guys actually drive your car that way?
On a daily basis, no.
No, I don't
No.
think anyone does it for normal driving lah.
I might do
Yeah,
second gear.
but that's how a dyno run is done.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. So for us, more importantly, is your in gear acceleration. Let's say if you're cruising, at 80 kilometers an hour and you want to accelerate to 140 or 130, and when you put your foot down, just say if you are on a kampong road, you want to overtake somebody, right?
Hmm.
When you put your foot down, what happens? Whether your car will actually shift down a gear quickly, or does it hesitate before it shifts? Or once you put your foot down, it just shifts down and go.
Yeah.
Auto response. Yeah.
Yeah, throttle response, and without spinning your wheels. If you're running front wheel drive, you have loads of power.
Oops.
Top steer.
Top steer.
Yes, yes. You got no fear. When you see a gap in the traffic, to put your foot down and actually pull out and overtake the car.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Mm.
do you feel
So
like
that's
yeah?
what we do, is more of a complete package.
Okay.
Rather than just, chasing that number up there.
That's good to know, I think, for our audience, because I think a lot of them are either currently going through something like this where they have friends who have access to a bit more cash than they do, and they go out there and they buy a car, and then their friends want to buy the same car, or they
Yeah.
aspire to do so, and then when they get it,
Yep.
then they get like, oh, I want to get that, I want to get that, I want to get that, ignoring a lot of the finer details
Yeah.
along the way.
Correct. I mean, you guys toge a lot, right? I know.
Yeah.
I met you guys.
Secretly.
Never toge with you guys before, but seeing you at the start and at the end, lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Destination most of the time.
That's what matters to be able to see each other at the end.
Not halfway there.
Don't see halfway lah. Don't see halfway.
Arriving safely.
Let's see at the end, not the halfway.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question. Something that I always wonders, but just now you were talking about it, but I cannot. I don't know. I don't know why. So you said like on dyno pool they usually do on fourth gear, and the numbers are generated from fourth gear,
Yes.
right? So why do people use the fourth gear as the point of generating the numbers?
Good question.
Excellent question, actually. Doing that run is not wrong. All right. Don't get me wrong either. Yeah. Basically, because the fourth gear is the most direct gear that goes to the wheels. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like a 1-to-1, we call it.
okay.
1-to-1 ratio.
The ratio lah. Okay.
Yeah, like a 1-to-1 ratio. Lah. So, that's the most accurate way to actually get the data. Lah. So that's why it's always done on fourth gear. So with certain vehicles where the gearing is so high, the guy running the dyno sometimes may go to a third gear. Get the figures. And nowadays, you're running into cars with 8 and 9 speed, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
fifth gear as well.
Yeah, I gotta say, like some
Yeah,
cars,
so-
like
Yeah, so it's about, again, balance.
mhm.
And the guy running the dyno also can actually manipulate the figures as well. You see.
Manipulate in a nice way,
Yeah,
or
it's possible to manipulate it.
oh, really? Like you mean like to make it seem like more?
Nice
it's
for
a-
eye to see.
Yeah, you got the hardware that you can manipulate, and then you can manipulate certain of the setting, and then also like a jockey, the driver can actually play around with the throttle and all that. Yeah,
Okay,
play with the figures. So the operator is also important.
as in must be trustworthy lah.
Yeah, because what happens is that even the best drivers can have a bad day, right?
Yes.
True.
Yeah, even Hamilton can have a bad day. Yeah, that
Is Isaac a big Lewis Hamilton fan?
He's a good driver. Yeah. But sometimes a bit nah, that's all. I'm not a huge Verstappen fan as well. Okay.
Oh no, not
Sorry,
Max,
no
Max.
problem, no problem.
No problem.
Cool.
Yeah, Katie, I think you wanted to ask something else as well, right?
What was it?
I thought you wanted to ask something else as well, and then I got distracted.
Oh no, it was the
I think it
dino.
was just the fourth gear.
Dino one, okay.
Oh, the fourth gear I know lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where it is lah. And I mean it's good to know because if just say if you want to tune a car, you can go and run it on the dyno, with the stock figures before you actually go and do the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you go back and actually run the dyno again to see the money you have spent.
What's the
has actually
translation like?
translated to a horsepower gain.
Yeah.
I think I'm already kind of over in the point where my NA cars probably I spend a few thousand only give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only.
Yeah. So again, balancing the whole thing lah. Now you got an intake, that's good, and after that you maybe got to look at the exhaust system lah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to free it up a little, not too much. It's an NA car, cannot be like a turbo car. You can do any nonsense after the turbo.
4-inch downpipe, 4-inch exhaust.
Yeah, 4-inch BA pipe and all that kind of thing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one thing I guess we talked about it already, sort of the area under the graph where it's about the combination of torque and horsepower that helps you achieve response, right?
Yes.
So I think one thing I wanted to talk about, which, okay, I'll just be honest, I didn't tell you this before, but
Yep.
I was one of those guys that I was very, very, very against staged packages, right?
Yep.
Where someone was I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I hated the fact that someone would come up to me and say, hey, you need Revo Stage 2. Okay, do I just take the tune and can I go get my own custom downpipe and all that? No. You have to use the Revo Stage 2 tune with this intake, with that downpipe, with this intercooler. I'm like, wait a second. A downpipe design, to me, to layman me, right?
Yep.
Cannot be so complex, right? Because it literally does what it says on the box, right? Which is a dump pipe, right? And for me, most intercooler designs, so long as you increase volumetric flow, should achieve the same effect. So I was one of those guys that were like, no, by hell or high water, I'm going to do it myself. And I did that for my Fiesta ST. So I did all the tunes, everything, not the tunes, I bought all the parts I bought myself, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I put it on the car and all that kind of stuff. And literally, I see no gain. I think the only thing that ever gave me a decent gain was a custom downpipe. That one was immediate. That was immediate, when we talked about area under the graph, right? From 2,000 RPM to 6,000 RPM, I gained something like 40, 50 Newton meters just from the downpipe. But the peak was, I only get 6 horsepower. But the car, when it's accelerating, was a totally different car.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask.
That's the response, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what I wanted to ask is DNA tuning. Every workshop has its stance on it, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get a perspective from you guys because I think DNA tuning, you guys aren't out there hawking full packages, right? But you're advising people on what to.
Really, I think the only full package I have at the minute is mainly on the A45.
Oh.
On the A45 because with the A45 we got it to a very balanced way of doing it lah.
Okay.
And it actually gains horsepower throughout the range, yeah. And but at the beginning, before the turbo actually spools, efficiency kicks in. Even when you run it on a dyno, you cannot see there's a horsepower or torque gain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when you drive the car, it's very pronounced, the difference.
Like a night and day kind of thing.
It's a night and day thing. Yeah, but it doesn't show you on the dyno chart.
Oh, that's strange,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, it's very strange because I have even customers because I can run road dynos, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can run road dynos, and I have cars that come into me before, yeah, that has been previously tuned, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we go and run the dyno on it, yeah, exactly the same like ours.
Okay.
The numbers are all abang adik lah, I would say, the
Hmm.
numbers, yeah, but
Okay.
the way the car drives, after our tune and their tune, yeah, that was existing in the car, I have customers that tell me, Mike, this is how to explain. They asked me that, Mike, how to explain this? I said, that's why very difficult to explain. He said, but it's night and day difference, is it, driving the car? He said, I got no qualms actually putting my foot down, going to Titi Kong or going Uruyam anymore. And this was around my A45 guy because he bought the car used.
Mm-hmm.
The car had all the hardware in it already. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
lucky
all he
man.
changed was just the tuning with me. Lah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Then he was telling me, he said, last time I never end up last one in my group. After buying this car so powerful, I always
wow,
end up last.
dangerous, this guy.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. The reason he said for that is because he was so worried of putting his throttle down because he wasn't sure how the car was going to respond of his
Oh.
overtaking and at the bends as well.
So it's sort of like building the predictability of the car.
Yeah, yeah. So he said, in Cantonese term lah, he said, 我同學車分開嘅 because he speak Cantonese with me.
Okay.
He said, detach from the car. Previously. Yeah. So because he wasn't in control lah, the car like had a mind of its own with the throttle.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's really important. I guess you don't want something that you do to the car to make you fear the car, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm. That's why, that's what Donald was saying, like, about balance.
Hmm. See,
Yeah.
Michael, you got it completely wrong, bro. The car that wants to kill you is not the car you should be driving, bro.
Yeah, I still remember you are the one that said I want the M2 because the M2 is trying to kill the driver.
Yeah, I don't know
Bro, that's a
anybody that wants to
different
drive
way
a
of
car that
killing,
kills
bro.
you.
Different way of killing. This one is
I want
shooting in
I want
front.
to be at the top of the thing, I don't want to be halfway there, bro.
What, at the temple getting prayed for?
But actually, to be frank, I have this fear of driving M4s and M2s.
Whoa.
New engines.
Very talky.
I have a fear driving those fellas. I get sweaty palms.
I guess 20 pounds talking about it.
For
Yeah.
just to pick me and Katie's interest, Mike, M4 or M2? Which one is
I
one do
will
you
take
like?
the M2 lah. M2.
Eh,
Definitely an M2 lah.
For sure, lah.
Yeah.
That thing's a rocket, lah.
All the sensible choices, all the things that I want pointed me to the M2, but the price tag is always pointing me to the M4.
I know, like, I think a couple of months ago, one of my customers' friend, he was selling his M4 really in immaculate condition.
Mhm.
250K.
Oh, yo.
Not bad.
Hey, Mike, you want not?
Katie wants. I'm an M2 fan.
Yeah, so I said no lah. Because I'm a driver first. I like how the car feels with me first before I actually plunge into the car lah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So on the M4, I feel detached. So fortunately, sorry you M4 guys, not that it's just me. Yeah, that's my
No
personal
problem,
opinion.
right? It's not a lot of
Not the
M4
car,
guys
not the
around.
Which brings to my next one question.
Mhm.
Are drivers nowadays are buying cars? I mean, all those car lovers are buying cars because of the numbers rather than how the cars really feel. Do you believe so?
Yeah, I believe in that. I mean, because I got a lot of customers, people from my age or over my age, to all of you guys as well. Yeah, from 20 to 20 and a bit to 60s lah, my customers. The 6 series. Yeah, the 5 series.
I'm the N4.
Yeah, so in that sense, steering feel to people in their 20s, the 30s, and to people like me, is totally different thing, because people in their 20s, when they started to drive car already with electric steering.
Oh yeah. So they don't
Yeah,
get that hydraulic kind of
yes,
feel.
yes. So to them, that is how a steering should feel. So for us, it's slightly different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
thought of it that way, That
yes,
is.
yes.
Because club sport.
Oh,
Katie
come
will know.
on.
Katie will know, right, Katie?
Yeah, I felt the M4. To be honest, no, also no offense to M4 owners. I mean, one of
Bro,
one
you
of
were a supporter of M4 a moment ago.
one of the main reasons I'm driving. Okay, I have a reasons on why I still savor the M4 over the M3, and I still have a reason why I want the M3 and the M4. So,
Yeah.
uh, M4 I test drove a few units before I even buy the M3. So the M4 was I felt like it was like what you said, Mike, disconnected. I cannot a lot of things I'm numb. I'm being numb to it. Like I cannot feel it. Like I cannot feel the feeling of the road. How does it feel? Because the steering was so lighter, not so light, but it's
Yeah.
so much lighter than what I'm driving right now. And I've come from all the hydraulic steerings the whole time.
Hmm.
And then until now, the moment I drive the M4, but the power is immense. It was immense. On straight line, the tail is fishing out.
Yeah.
That was stock. So it was a point like I felt like I think I'm gonna die in this car, if I'm gonna drive that car. So
Yeah.
and then when the moment, but then when you drive it and on a normal day to day, it felt like a 4 series, a 3 series, because it was so numb to it, it was so dead to it, like you're driving a normal car. And when I went to the M3 was because the moment you start the engine, it was not refined, it was brute.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The moment you start the engine, the whole car is like vibrating. Of quick. Then steering is heavy. Then going through humps, you can hear outside the sound because it was because the
Famous.
frameless window, you can still hear the sound and stuff like that. Things that like it wasn't perfect, that kind of makes it perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's the
Like and when
experience,
Yeah, like when you drive the M4, it was like but one thing I really savor was the power that I never have.
Bro, you
Fair
can do
enough.
engine swap, bro. Engine swap, no problem.
Supercharge. But then you're gonna throw the balance off the car.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
that
will definitely.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
in my books, the most extreme thing I will do to the car is probably a 400cc stroker. That's it. That do into the GTS zone. Other than that, nowhere near gonna be
No Eaton superchargers.
Keep the NA because
Yeah.
the days are really numbered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
put
the
it in
E92, yeah, the E92 is the last M3 coupe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind, I can bolt on the turbo later, take it all out.
Actually, I wanted to ask Mike about some of the process of DNA tuning. So, in the case of the guy who brought his A45, which already had all the parts on it,
Yep.
As a business owner or as a tuner, the process that you went through to diagnose what he had done to his car and all that, did that make a lot of difference? Did it help with the tuning process, so to speak?
Yeah, it did help because the hardware was all there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were quite balanced. So, I didn't have to do any changes to it.
Oh, okay. So, but I think every time you guys take a car in, do you guys do an assessment of what's already on it?
Yes, that particular car, there was a broken vacuum hose. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, a very long broken vacuum hose. So we had to replace that. Yeah, there was a leak there. So we just sort that out, tune it, test it, then all was good. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Mm,
that's good to know because I mean, a lot of
yeah.
times, like, I guess people will come to you to fix their problems, but then you'd have to give them some bad news, I guess. You know what I mean? Like if they're like me, sort of just throw everything together and make it someone else's problem.
Yeah. We do get customers like that. Yeah. And
Like you, bro.
yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And I think uh, what we do is we assess what they have put on, and if
Ah,
something we feel that is not right, then we will just advise them. Mm,
okay,
yeah.
that's good. I think
Yes.
that's a very good business practice, I
Yeah,
guess, in
and
a
I
way.
always ask customers, yeah, with the tune, yeah, what are you looking out for, for on the tune? I
Hmm.
think that's far more important because you are the one driving the car.
True, true.
How you want the car to feel, yeah, how you want the power delivery to be, yeah. So yeah, we will try our best to do it to how you want it to be lah. But at the end, most of the time they will just follow. We try to do what they want, and
Hmm.
then sometimes it goes badly. Sometimes it goes badly because what they want to do, uh,
They don't have the
the
supporting hardware.
hardware, the hardware just can't take it.
Mm.
Just can't
Oh.
take it. Yes, because you like it or not, there are a lot of tuners out there, that always also show numbers lah. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
when they do their
Yes,
advertisement and all
yes.
that. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
for
all about the
1.4
numbers.
engine, yeah, I done a dyno, I can get 240 horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later on we realized, oh, that was a test map they put on and then put high octane fuel to achieve the
Oh,
number.
so if you don't
And
use high
then
octane
we
fuel,
find out that car, oh, it's actually not very drivable, but it did the numbers lah.
jeez.
So stuff like that lah.
Yeah.
We come up with.
I can bring to Mama session and say, hey, this is my dyno chart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
pencil way.
yeah, and then what happens is that tuners like us all kena, how come you want 210 horses? Yeah,
Mama,
get
you next time we help them to take a pen, then you draw for them. Hey,
I guess
now
I I guess in a way, right? Like I
mm,
guess in a way there's a lot of competition within the car modifying community, right?
mm,
Like I think like what ends up happening or what it seems like is happening is like, oh, Revo tomorrow will say, okay, MK7 GTI, stage one, 280 horsepower. And then everyone else feels obligated to do a stage one that is either equal or better. Is that often the case?
quite often lah, quite often. Yeah, yeah.
But it's sort of these sort of like it takes all the safety measures out of that equation though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have seen tunes that actually take away some of what we call DTC. Yeah, you know what's DTC, Michael? You know?
Yeah, dynamic traction control.
Yeah, that's on the BMW term lah. But when we say
Oh,
DTC
It's
in the
a vehicle
future,
stability assist like other cars.
yeah,
yeah.
but the fault codes, you know what I mean, fault codes. Yeah, because your engine is pulling out some fault codes to say that certain things are not right, but on the tune there we take it away.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
So in after that, when the car runs badly, right, whoever that's trying to fix the car cannot see the fault code.
oh,
ooh,
that
Yeah.
sounds
So
really
stuff like that does happen as well.
well. That's sketchy as hell.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
All this is in the name of just more power, you know.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Like the what are you
Correct.
sacrificing here for
So you can
reliability?
actually hide fault codes like
Yeah.
without.
Hide the fault codes.
So do they become shadow code or just gone? Only the tuner that did it knows it.
Yeah. Only the tuner that does it knows it.
Oh, okay.
Unless
Dangerous.
unless we rewrite the whole program to stop. We try to restore that part that has been taken out.
Okay. So
The DTC removal, we call it. Yeah.
so what kind of fault codes do you think are normally deleted? Like, is it like engine knock or sensor kind of stuff?
Sometimes stuff like overboost, check engine lights, which I've seen before. Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
Or insufficient fuel. Yeah.
Insufficient fuel.
Yeah.
There's this thing in my BMW previously. I mean, it's a very common thing. So when I swapped my suspension to KW without using the cancellation kit,
Yeah.
they always have the fault code. So that and all these fault code can be deleted. Are these the
Your one, like for your car that's running with the dynamic chassis control system, that is done via coding, just to tell your car system that your car does not have the active suspension installed.
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
makes it run like a car that doesn't have it.
Mm.
okay,
It's
okay.
like golfs lah.
Yeah.
If you take out the DCC
It's
for
not
others,
fault.
yeah.
It's not taking out a fault code. That is actually just coding, we call it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
To tell the car system that your car does not have the dynamic
That
chassis.
feature lah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that feature.
The active suspension system.
Yeah, correct. BMW, what do they call it?
DCC lah.
No, huh? DCC is a golf thing, right? It's a
Yeah,
Volkswagen
DCC
thing.
is golf. Very VW.
Isn't it EDC?
EDC,
EDC, yeah.
EDC.
electronic damper,
EDC, right? Adaptive.
Yeah. electric damper,
EDC.
Electronic
EDC.
damping control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EDC.
Yeah.
Electric damping control. Wow, all
Not
these
erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. All
Why
these-
can't they just agree to one?
mouthful. I
yeah.
cannot
Okay.
remember all this.
In a way, saying that cars that are newer are more reliable in terms of tuning rather than the ones that are old. Is this statement true?
I think that is a myth. Actually, you got to look at the platform. The engine.
Okay.
Mm.
So doesn't mean that
Engines, some engines can take more nonsense, some can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, like the Mark 5 Golf engine can take a lot of nonsense.
So I've heard. I mean, I've seen some crazy Mark V Golfs out there.
Yeah. It takes a lot of nonsense, and the car is still driving. Crazy.
Yeah, such a I don't want to say resourceful, but strong engine lah.
Yeah.
It's a resilient engine, dude.
Yeah.
You can whack anything, dude.
Don, I think that's your car in the future, man. That's like Mark V Golf is just
no,
your.
I won't buy a Golf. Sadly, I won't. I
You'll
would
never
never
go the
buy a
turbocharged
Golf.
route, man.
I will never buy a Golf.
I know. For Donald is, he as long as he got a Malaysian car,
Oh,
even
Mike.
Ivy, he can.
He
jog
thinks
anybody.
he thinks a Lotus is Malaysian car. Okay, so that's why he's aiming
Actually,
for one.
Lotus is the one that he wants.
Lotus is it's
was
his
the
true
Malaysian
name.
car. Was the Malaysian car.
Oh my god, guys!
It was owned by us for a short period.
Sure, it was actually the
Just
longest
buy
period
that-
of ownership.
That production year within that period, so it's a Malaysian car.
But
I mean,
Donald,
Malaysia
Malaysia
right now
Malaysia-
is also
Yeah, yeah,
of someone else anyway.
half more like all, bro.
Yeah, there's no rear-wheel drive Malaysian car, right?
Not anymore.
No,
I think there never was, right? There never was.
There never was. There never
Yeah,
was. There never was.
There never was. But you need to go front wheel. You're driving front wheel, so you must get rear-wheel drive.
Yes, definitely. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive. Hopefully.
Go rear-wheel drive first.
Oh,
Go
Ferrari,
rear-wheel drive
yeah.
first.
Okay, so I wanted to get into some myth busting, so to speak. Now, a lot of people will tell you that, oh, you need the diverter valve from Go Fast Bits or some sort of don't know what pops and crackle maps and all that kind of stuff. Can you give us the God honest truth about such things? Because, I mean, when I used to own a Subaru, it was a different era, right? So I had a Blitz blow-off valve. It sounds nice. I don't know whether it did anything, to be honest. I'm sure in my mind I thought it did it, but it came with the car, so I didn't bother questioning it. But when it comes to modern day engines, do we need a diverter valve or a blow off valve when we already have recirculated systems?
Yeah, the original one is a recirculated system.
Hmm.
Yeah, and basically on all the cars we do, yeah, generally we stick with it, except if you are on a stage 3 or stage 4, then maybe yeah we got to look at an aftermarket diverter valve.
Okay. Is there a reason why stage three, stage four is like what is the real reason why it needs to have more blow off? Is it because of the capacity of air that needs to be set out?
I'm just speaking on our tuning lah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not speaking on anybody else's. Yeah, but with our tuning, yeah, sticking with the original stuff works excellent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not that big of a deal
no,
to stick with the
yeah,
stock one.
yeah, correct.
So
Like
And
likewise, yeah, I was gonna one.
we have,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
yeah, and we have seen some problems lah. Yeah, with the aftermarket stuff, with leaks and stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't want to
But this
name
is
any.
the vent to air ones, lah, but not recirculated, lah.
Yes, yes, and the air, the vent, the those vent to atmosphere ones, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it tends to make the car drive jerky as well, because your car has to re-spool again, your turbo,
Oh,
because you have released everything off to the atmosphere. Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
So it
So
really
it
is just for the
down a
noise,
bit.
lah.
you just the noise, you want the
I don't need it, man. A
Depending on your
DSJ is
car,
like
right?
driving a train, lah, bro. It doesn't. When am I ever gonna blow off in that car if I lift off the throttle only? What?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically like all those A45s that say like, oh the you need the blow off valve to so that it won't damage the turbo fins and stuff like that. All these are basically not true.
Basically, on all our stage 2 tune and the particular model, yeah, we don't even recommend it. And
Whoa.
yes, yeah, of course, we don't push crazy boost. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't push crazy boost. And you can say that we are conservative in a way,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but we are no push away when it comes to the top, yeah, and the
Okay.
horsepower delivery. And I think I can confidently say that on the drivability stakes, we are right up there with the very very best.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to ask, also kind of related, but on the other end, where the
Mm.
exhaust is turbo actuators. How often do you need to upgrade that as a part?
Okay, the actuators actually, if you're running stage 1, stage 2, you don't really need it
Okay.
unless you're running stage 3 and above.
Is it
Then
just to hold the extra boost, lah?
yeah, that's to hold the extra boost lah.
Okay. So that
Other than
means
that,
if,
mm, not necessary lah.
hmm.
Keep your money to get better tires or suspension or
I'm so glad you brought that up, Mike. I'm so glad you brought that
yeah,
up.
yeah. I mean, it. Yeah, you're spending money, but there's no gains on it. Why?
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Very
Okay.
true. Very true.
I'm only a guy that I only sell things that I believe in and I've tested. That's
I
me.
like that. I like that because you don't want to sell something you have no knowledge of and then be responsible for it in the future, right?
Yep.
Yeah, by putting it on your list. So one of the things that a lot of a lot of people ask for, and is kind of a very divisive topic, is popping and banging kind of mapping lah. So I mean, I enjoy my car when I put it into DSG Sport mode. I like the sound of the pops and that comes out of the exhaust, but it's not nearly it's not nearly as loud as some A45s I've heard before or some Golf Rs. When they ride past, it's like a gunshot, man. It's like someone trying to shoot me with a like a 9mm Beretta or something, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
what are the problems with that? Because and some people say no issue at all, but other people say it causes damage. Like which ones do and which ones don't?
Okay. If you are talking about pops and bangs,
Mm-hmm.
for us, we don't really recommend it. At one point, because of pressure from customers, yeah, we were putting all this stuff on, yeah. But on the long run, it started to give issues. On the overrun could be jerky. I mean, we have encountered, customers, some of them, yeah, not everyone. Uh, it causes jerks on the cars, especially on the overrun. When you lift off the throttle, it bangs.
Oh,
Then the
okay.
cars,
So that's overrun lah.
on the overrun.
Okay.
Yeah. So it causes that, and I think more importantly is, especially if you've got a small capacity engine, and if you start putting in pops and bangs, it's not very healthy for the engine. Yeah.
Okay.
And what it does is that, because when the pop goes, right, it's outside your exhaust. Yeah, only what you see outside. Yeah, when it comes off, when it pops, what happens in your exhaust system itself?
Okay.
There is back pressure that's pushing back into your exhaust system, and that can actually stop your turbo spooling on one direction
Okay.
because your air is going back the other way. Yeah.
Mm.
So if your capacity is small and you've got a small turbocharger, big turbocharger, and smaller capacity engine, you can actually destroy either the turbo or the engine.
Okay. That
In
sounds
long
very
run, it's
problematic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
guys, don't do that.
Yeah, it's not so healthy. Yeah.
But
What
what
crackles are fine, the little crackles. Yeah.
Like the small farts lah, the pee pee pop
Yeah,
pop
the
pee pee
false
pop pop.
parts and all that. No, not the bang.
Yeah.
like the normal A45 stock when it comes out? It's
Yeah, yeah, those are alright. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it comes with it, right? On
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
sports
comes with
mode,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's
I
not,
think it's
it's not comes with
only-
popcorn. It's not comes with popcorn.
Yeah, I think it's only the edition one has it, and some of the imported ones we have seen, sometimes they don't have it.
Oh, really?
mine from the MBM itself, they comes with it. The facelifted one, the 2016 facelifted one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of the edition one also comes with it.
yeah, the edition was.
Yeah, the edition one comes with it.
But
But
does it
I
does
have
it actually
also-
serve any function?
Sorry, Mike?
Does it make any difference other than just the sound?
Just the sound. I even have a customer that came to me, his edition one, after software update from Mercedes. No more crackles.
Oh.
Oh. Actually, it plays a very big part, bro. Michael. It
Yes.
plays a very big part in terms of marketing.
And
Yeah.
also you feel faster, right? You feel faster, right?
No
Yeah.
lah, it just make you feel
People tend to
cooler
burn
lah.
off you. At first, you're like, you're not driving fast. You're just like, throttle, let it off, just to hear, just to listen to it. But as
Yes,
time
yes.
goes by, it's like, annoying, As
Yeah.
time goes by, it's just getting.
Yeah. With the A45, if sometimes we discovered when you start adding, you'd say want a little crackle more, it will start to pop like crazy. This
Oh,
is a little more, wow, the gunshots like crazy.
Mad.
Yeah,
Rare,
related
rare,
to
rare.
this, related to the pop and bang, some people they call it anti-lag. Is it the same thing or different?
Ooh, anti-lag, totally different.
That's rally stuff though, right?
That totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different stuff. Yeah.
But sometimes some anti-lag system they also will have crackle or pop and bang, something like that, right?
Yes. It works in the very same principle. What happens is that they try to keep the pressure going, so that your turbo does not stop spooling. Yeah, so it has a continuous flow of air, even though when you are shifting.
Those that are found in the rally cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But that's different lah.
It's the good type of pop and bang, guys.
Not a
But,
good time lah.
but those are purpose. Those are
purpose
purpose
built.
done. Yeah, they are purpose built.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
different,
the one rally run, go back, review engine.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Every time you drive.
Yeah, so that's built with a different purpose.
Yeah, those car goes in after one run, go back review engine one. Your 3D5 go out get grocery, go back review engine, bro.
No, bro, at grocery store, call tow truck, bro, you talking.
Yes. I mean, for us, even our basic tunes, yeah, it still works out very well at the track. You know, in Sepang, we have driven it quite a few times. Reason is because of the smoothness of the power delivery. Yeah, because when you exit a bend, especially if you're front wheel drive or even rear wheel drive, your when you put your foot down on the throttle,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very predictable and the driver can control the car.
Okay, yeah, that's really
Yeah,
important.
and then you can actually throttle earlier, so
Because you have
because
a bit more confidence, right?
it's predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then certain corners you can, put your foot flat,
Okay.
lift.
Yeah.
Certain area you might just lift very quickly and throttle back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the drivers can do it very confidently. In that sense. So it's about balance. End of the day. Tuning is about balance. Yeah, it's not about chasing that
The
elusive.
number, yeah.
Very simple. John, just say if your clutch spot, right? You go and put it on the dyno tomorrow. All right?
Yeah.
You go and 2 months later, you put the same car back into the same dyno, then suddenly you see 10 horsepower difference. Oh my God.
Hmm.
Must
be
be
a
bad
really
fuel, must
cold
be bad
day.
fuel. Must be bad fuel, huh?
You get what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even with the same car on a different day, could be a fuel issue or could be an emission issue or
Oh, yeah.
there's so many factors
Mhm.
that comes into play with it. Unless you are such a sensitive driver, you can feel it.
Not really, lah. Can't even drive my car nowadays.
No, it's very true.
Yeah.
So on the dyno, if as much as 10 to 15 horses different, it doesn't mean that this other car is slower than the other car because we can't tell, whether how the car performs when you put the foot throttle down and shift gear, whether it's seamless, or the car get bogged down on the next gear before it starts accelerating again. Yeah.
Okay. That's, I
These are the
guess.
things that really, really, really kind of like nobody actually tells you, even though you are in numerous group, and then when you ask, then nobody actually explains to you. And then now that we kind of get the gist of what is actually going on,
Yeah,
Yeah. I think.
exactly.
Yeah.
because like when you ask, right, why my horsepower is just 380, and then people say, oh, I think some problem, but then nobody actually tells you what is actually going
Yeah.
on. Like,
Mhm.
like just tell you the most basic thing is probably telling you on a certain day you go and try it and just run it again and see really is it the number, because that might be so many things that came into play. Probably that day the jockey, or probably the hot day or something that causes
Yes.
Too many factors.
but yes,
Too many factors.
yeah.
Or maybe another colleague of his reconfigured the
Dyno.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm shocked that so many people do not really know how to read a dyno chart. That is damn scary. Yeah.
I think all of us also is like, hey, how much horsepower?
Most of the people will just look at the numbers.
They look at the numbers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they are not looking at the overall chart.
Yeah.
Until the end of the day, I think this is much more on the more
Mm.
educating the people about what dyno really is, rather than seeing the end of that
Final
number.
output. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think
I know people that think that some of maybe they are not car guys, maybe they just think that, oh, when you go dyno you tune your car. They don't even know what a dyno really does.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. And I get this a lot as well. Your tune, is it dyno tune? We get that a lot as well.
Okay.
Tune or dyno tune, right?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it used to be like that, lah, right? Where you either put it on a dyno or you put it on or you go on the road and do pulls, lah.
Correct. That is if the tuner does not know what to do for stage 1 or stage 2 nowadays.
Mm.
Yeah, and for the Malaysian context.
Hmm.
Mm. So that is important. Yeah, if you allow me, I'd just like to share a story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Few
go ahead.
years back, I had my Guilo principal sitting next to me in my golf, my Mark 5 Golf, because my car was on stage one for the longest time of his life. And and I was heading down to Singapore, and there was this nice bright green wheels, black color Golf Mark 5 that was screaming, came beside me. Then he slowed down. I think I was, doing very sane speed, at that time. But he, I think he was beside me and in front of me, at the back of me for about quite a few km, and do what he wanted, lah.
Okay.
So, okay, then, we both of us knew we had to do something. So, I think we did quite a few pulls, yeah. And then we came to a lay-by after that. Then he came by, he came. Your car stage 2 or stage 3? Sure or not? Say sure. So you want to see my bonnet now? Open the bonnet, stock intake, catalytic converter still there, downpipe all still there. Wow. How? Then he said, "Oh, you're Mike from DNA Tuning." Oh, okay. That was it, lah. Yeah, that was it, lah.
So did he become a customer after that?
No, lah. He didn't.
Oh.
But you guys became friends lah.
Just became friends, but I also cannot remember his name really. I do not know whether he still owns that car, lah.
Okay.
Yeah. But end of the day, I'm sure my car was producing less horsepower than his car. That I'm sure,
Big
lah.
horsepower lah, maybe.
The big horsepower.
But how it's delivered, lah?
I think what happened is because each time when we put the foot down, I always pull ahead first. I pull at least 1 to 2 car lengths easy, lah.
Wow.
And you guys have driven so many years. I'm sure when somebody gets ahead with you, just that 40, 50, 100 meters or so, it's very difficult to chase.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've got massive horsepower difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And places like Titikong, Ulu Yam, and other 100 horses good enough already.
Don knows all about that.
Like how on the highway 330E pulling away from me.
Bro, you were lazy, bro. You were lazy.
Drop a gear, bro.
You lazy, bro.
Until I hit about 180, I pull him back very quickly. Until about 180,
How long did that take?
I'm not really sure. But I was like, fuck man, why is it like that?
You didn't drop your gear, is it?
I didn't drop enough gear. I was on gear 7, drop. But then only next time I realized, you fly it all the way, you click it on the left, then it'll go down to the lowest gear. The highest top.
The BMW click pedal.
This DCT, even on M3s, we can drop up to three or 4 gears sometimes.
Yeah, 4 gears down from 7.
Oh man.
Can drop 4 gears, quite crazy. Can't remember what it was, but I know, I just successively then off. Yeah. But those M4s are crazy. Scary.
M4s are really crazy.
Scary car to drive.
Yeah, I'm sure the torque wall is so high.
Beyond my capability.
600 over Newton meter, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Easily. And stage 1, I'm making 500 horsepower on fly, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, what about your experiences your personal experience on your own vehicle that you, from the point where you buy it, and then after that, what you did to it until the day that you were satisfied and currently until now? Yeah.
For me, it's about enjoying the car, to the limits where it was built.
Like which one
But,
of your car, like which one of your car and the journey of that specific car.
oh, my craziest car is my golf lah actually. But also came to a point where because we are pushing it that hard, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the reliability is an issue lah.
Mm.
Reliability, not hardware reliability, is because the car becomes so sensitive. Yeah, there's a bit of air leak also. I can feel it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I know, hey, the car is not pulling, but if I carry somebody, they'll say my car is fast. But for me, there's something wrong with my car. And just hearing the car, that there's some
Yeah.
leak. And we did smoke tests, this, that. I still haven't
Found it.
discovered what that leak issue is and where
Oh.
it is.
But by
Whether
now
it's
your
from
MK5 is
Sorry?
a totally different animal, right?
Yeah, because what happens is when we tune your car, right? Just say if one of your sensors are going to koyak, pop, it won't show up. When we start pushing it, we are just like putting that sensor into a microscope. Because suddenly we multiply,
Yeah, the forces on it.
capability by 5 times, 10 times. Pop, straight away it shows up. That's the truth.
Mm.
If a sensor is on the way up.
Okay.
So when you tune a car, things like that can happen. And
Be
we
prepared.
advise clients on that. Yeah. And of course, with the Masale cars, you have your ignition coils and your
Mhm.
spark plugs. That's the most common thing
Yeah.
with the Masale cars. And then, of course, with your BMWs, your charge pipes, your 6-cylinder turbocharged cars. Of course, or I call it the crack pipe.
BMW love their plastic.
Beautiful cracking pipes.
Cool. I guess we kind of come sort of to a bit of the end here,
Yep.
where I want to thank you again for coming on, Mike. I mean, for us, it's
always.
for us, it's a treat. Otherwise, it'd just be us guys talking some nonsense about what we barely know about,
Like a normal CT session.
like a
you know?
normal podcast, lah. So I
Yeah.
think we'll give this time over to you, so that you can talk about DNA tuning and what are your goals are in terms of what kind of products you want to bring to the market and what's
Yep.
your ethos and all that.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it was quite simple, lah. How I got into this business was from an enthusiast. This business became a business, Yeah. And what happened is, because in the past, I had people settling with the cars, with my cars, but was never really satisfied with it. Yeah. And that's how I said, okay lah, I'll do this part time, and found a partner that to do this part time, and then I think I started about 11 years ago back then, and I was still working with an MNC lah back then, and then after that, I got a partner in, and then one guy introduced me to DNA tuning, yeah, and at the time I was already looking for a good tuner to go to lah, to tune my car. All right. And at that time, because of my Mark 5 Golf, I had, the usual suspects, which you just say, people like Revo,
Mhm.
APR,
Yeah.
these people. And this guy showed me DNA tuning, and that's how I got hooked up with them. And I tried the product, and I said, wow, this is pretty darn good, yeah. And then we tried it on the BMWs as well. Yeah, and it worked beautifully as well on a normally aspirated BMW back then. And then I tried the first turbocharged BMW was the Z4 35IS. Yeah.
Oh.
And this is exactly 10 years
It's a
ago.
rare car in Malaysia.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Rare car in Malaysia.
At that time, it was a rare car, and I think it was, 600,000 back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 or 700,000, I think that car. And the customer brought it to me. Then we tested the tune and everything. Yeah, and then we put it on the rollers. Yeah, before and after. I think we got about 330 horse at the wheels. Yeah, stage one tune back then. Yeah, and the top went up by 80 or 70 Newton meters or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then the rest is history lah. That's where we are now. And then I only really started to market this maybe about 3 years ago. Yeah. Other than that, we were really very low profile lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I met Mike. I think I think we met in Genting first. Then after that, he came to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be
Cool.
seeing me more often, maybe.
Yeah. Come
EMCO,
by.
after the EMCO.
yeah.
Not to mention now that we drive the same car, much more options are open
Yes.
now.
Yes. I can remember Isaac told me, "Wait, got somebody got the exact same car like ours."
You shot on
I
the
realized it's not our car.
Yeah, he suspected that I stole the pic from you guys and opened a fake Instagram account.
Correct. Yeah. He said somebody is trying to imposter or something.
imposter.
Yeah. Then I said, the guy's name Mike, is it? He said, yeah.
What do you mind?
Yes.
Oh, that time you already heard of the news that I got the car already lah.
I think I chat with you one night. We were chatting. I think we.
Oh
chat.
yeah. That was before Isaac. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that was before Isaac. Yeah. So straight away it rang a bell with me.
Who poisoned you to buy Michael?
This is a story for another day, guys.
Yes.
I think the same person poisoned you and me lah. Most probably.
Mr. 316I lah.
Yes.
316i. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a story for another day.
Everybody know who that is already. lah.
Everyone know who is that.
Really?
We're not gonna say his name, but if you know, you know.
I don't know.
You know.
Yes.
Cool.
316 with eight pistons one. That one.
Yeah, engine so on.
Yeah.
Really?
And then the car can never go straight.
Never got tire termite problem also.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, just one question, okay, this I may be speaking out for a lot of kings. So come on, guys, come on.
Do it.
Have any Myvi owners ever come to you for tuning before?
Week in, week out, there are people asking, but I can't do them, unfortunately.
Why?
Because my tools are not capable of reading the data from the ECU.
Okay.
I don't know what they use, but I think there are many tuners out in the marketplace that is serving that market already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had to ask just because everybody needs to know about Myvies, right?
Bro, they are the king of the road, bro.
Yeah.
So let them be lah.
If Mike is able to work any of his magic on the king, they're going to become gods, bro.
Oh, man.
It's already
Yeah, here we go.
It's already dominating the road. You don't want them to be dominating the universe.
Yeah.
Bro, your M3 having hard time to catch up 330E, bro. You gonna get smoked by the Myvi that's tuned by
Myvi
Mike.
King.
Okay, guys, all for the sake of joke, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so Mike, where can people reach out to you if they need some of your help in DNA tuning?
They can reach out with me either on my website or on my Instagram and also Facebook. Okay, the Facebook and Instagram would be the best lah.
Okay.
That's dnatuning.my.
Okay, I
We're
will.
gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it
Yeah, we'll put it.
there.
Yeah,
Leave it
okay.
there.
I know. I'll put it somewhere. All right, relax, guys.
We'll put the link down below.
Between us, Katie, between us.
Yeah, and if you want to catch some of my silly videos, it's just Mike Yap.
Okay.
The other very famous Mike Yap is actually a pastor. So
Okay.
from Philippines. Yeah.
Okay. We'll put those up.
Yep. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your
No
time.
problem.
So,
I had so much fun with you guys.
us
The
too.
honor is ours. The honor is
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah, the honor is ours. After EMCO, we're gonna go for the drive.
Yeah,
we're gonna
we
have
should meet up.
we're gonna have more fun. We're gonna have more
Yeah.
fun.
Definitely.
Trying to get away from
we
dawn.
cannot even jog and all that nonsense, is it? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Especially on Saturday onwards, you can't even go out after 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so it's Tabata time again. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Donald.
Thank you.
John.
No problem.
Mike, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So just to close it out, guys, people who are watching us on the internet, let us know what you think about what we've had a discussion about here today. And if you guys have any questions about any such things about tuning, about DNA tuning, about any of that stuff, why don't you post it on Facebook? We'll pass on the message to Mike, or you can contact Mike on the details that we'll leave for you in this video. And yeah, let's have a nice chat about it online. Don't poke each other with sticks.
And for those inside the Rojak Patriot Facebook group, Mike is actually inside, so
Yeah.
you can tag his name too to ask him anything.
On Facebook,
Yeah.
yep.
Yes.
So like, share, subscribe, send us money when we give you the bank account. Thank you very much. We're out.
All right.
All right.
Guys.
All right. Bye.
Guys.